Hello and welcome to day 2 of exploring Strasbourg and its Christmas markets. I've just gotten ready, I'm about to go down for breakfast and I will show you what they have here for breakfast because I'm very looking forward to it. I feel like breakfast is one of my favourite parts about staying in a hotel. I don't know about you, but the buffets and the selections are always incredible and it's just, breakfast in the hotels are the best. You got to agree with me on that one, so I'm very looking forward to going down and trying it now. So peaceful here. So I had my breakfast, I loaded up on Kugelhopf, which is the local traditional cake, and now I'm heading to the Musée d'Alsace, which is all about Alsace, like the region and its history, and it opens at 10, so after breakfast I'm just heading directly there, so I'm really looking forward to it. But it's just so pretty, look! Oh, I love it. The Alsatian Museum offers visitors a charming journey through old Strasbourg residences linked by stairs and wooden passageways. It displays thousands of objects that bear witness to rural life in Alsace in the 18th and 19th centuries. Costumes, furniture, ceramics, toys, religious and secular imagery, and much, much more. My favourite part was definitely the reconstructions of interiors, which were characteristic to the region of Alsace. As someone who was interested in interior design, I found them fascinating and really inspiring. They also had craftsmen's workshops, an apothecary and a wine cellar, and the variety kept the visit interesting. The museum is literally amazing, I just love everything. I want all of the pottery. So pretty. So pretty. Walking through all the rooms that make up the Alsatian Museum, you feel as if you are walking through a house whose inhabitants have just popped out for a minute. The creaky floorboards, the naturally placed furniture, and the details and the placement of each everyday object evoke a life that is both familiar and so different from that of today. Afterwards, I wandered the cobblestone streets of Petite France, a historic quarter to the west of Strasbourg. Perfectly preserved and arguably the most picturesque part of Strasbourg, Petite France is characterised by half-timbered buildings, quaint bridges crossing the river, and traditional restaurants. lunchtime, so I got tarte flambée, which is traditional here, so I'm about to try it. I've never had it before. Let's see how it is. creamy and with bacon. Really good. I'm by the cathedral, about to go in. Strasbourg Cathedral is considered to be amongst the finest examples of rayonnant Gothic architecture. Construction of the cathedral began in 1015 and was relaunched in 1190 before finally being finished in 1439. At a staggering 142 metres tall, the cathedral held the title of the world's tallest building between 1647 to 1874, which is a span of 227 years. Today it ranks as the 6th tallest church in the world. Victor Hugo described the building as a gigantic and delicate marvel, and when I visited I could instantly see why. The abundance of intricate carvings are spectacular, and the deep red sandstone from the local Vosges mountains gives the cathedral a distinctive and unique colour. Just come out of the cathedral and wow, it was amazing. Like, the architecture is beautiful, and it's a bit different because they use red stone here, so it's a bit of a different build. It's interesting. I just got a Bailey's hot chocolate to warm up, and next I'm going to go to the Palais Rohan, which is like a palace with a museum inside, which is just over there. But first I'm going to enjoy my hot chocolate. So I've never had a Bailey's hot chocolate before. It's actually really good. Just what I needed. I'm here. Made it to the Musée Rohan. I'm about to go in and I'm really looking forward to it. Look how beautiful it is. The Palais Rohan is the former residence of the Prince Bishops and Cardinals of the House of Rohan, an ancient French noble family originally from Brittany. It was built next to Strasbourg Cathedral in the 1730s from designs by Robert de Cotte and is considered a masterpiece of French Baroque architecture. Since its completion in 1742, the palace has hosted a number of French monarchs, such as Louis XV, Marie Antoinette, Napoleon and Josephine, and Charles X. My favourite room was of course the room filled with shelves upon shelves of well-worn books simply begging to be picked up and read once more. Together with the intricate tapestries and elegant busts, it just made the room enchanting. Since the end of the 19th century, the palace has been home to 3 of Strasbourg's most important museums: the Archaeological Museum, the Museum of Decorative Arts, and the Museum of Fine Arts. And I just loved the paintings they had on display there. So this is a manillet, and it's basically a brioche in the shape of man. I've never tried it before, I'm going to try it now. Well, as expected, delicious. You can see, but there's a full moon and it's so beautiful. The camera probably won't pick it up. Yeah, it's a bit blurry, but it's so pretty. It's just such a perfect night. So I just got back from my second day walking around and discovering Christmassy Strasbourg, and oh my gosh, I literally had the best day. I feel like Strasbourg earns its title of the capital of Christmas. It's just so beautiful. I just had such an amazing relaxed day, just wandering the streets without much of a plan. I had a few ideas of where I wanted to visit, so I went to the Museum of Alsace, I went to the Palais Rohan, and I went to the cathedral, but I didn't have a specific order or schedule planned, so I was just wandering around, and as I got to those places I visited them. But just the architecture in Strasbourg is so pretty. All the buildings, well not all of them, but the majority of the buildings are timber framed in different colours, and it's just like something out of a fairy tale or a storybook. It's so magical, and the atmosphere here is so just positive and happy. There's a lot of tourists here, everyone is relaxed and happy, and I feel like everyone is just projecting the Christmas spirit. You can really feel the Christmas spirit in the air. Everyone's eating and drinking mulled wine, and you can smell mulled wine in all the streets. The air is filled with that rich smell of spices and orange and cinnamon, and it's just really lovely. And yes, so I loved the museums. Like I said, the Musée d'Alsace I think it's called the Musée Alsatien, actually, sorry. The Musée Alsatien was amazing. It's one of my favourite museums I've ever been to because it's small, but it's set within an old traditional Strasbourg house, and literally you feel like you're in a maze. You're going in and out of all of these different rooms, and all the floorboards are really creaky and it's all crooked, and random corridors going into different courtyards out of other ones, and it's just, you're going through this house and exploring the house, and inside there's little recreations of traditional Alsace style rooms. So there's like little bedrooms, and they were all decorated for Christmas with trees hung with walnuts and apples, and it was so beautiful, and I loved the style of it. And like I said, my favourite types of museums are those which help you imagine and experience what life was like before, the ones that are more about people and the way they lived and their houses and their clothes, and that's what that museum was about. And they had lots of old cute tiled stoves and things like that, little cross sections of old timber framed houses, how they're constructed and put together and built, and it was just really interesting. I really enjoyed it, and it was a good size, and like I said, the building itself was beautiful, and the type of museum that it was I just really loved. And then I went to the Cathedral of Strasbourg, which was amazing. It's so big. I don't know if it shows on camera, but the scale of it is massive. It's really huge, but it's really beautiful. It's made with the local stone, which has a lovely rich deep red colour, which I really like. It's very cosy. And yes, the cathedral was very impressive. There were lots of candles, and I loved the nativity they had set up. So it wasn't a traditional, like, you know, the traditional nativity scene where it's just Jesus in the manger, but they had like a whole layout of scenes. So they had first where Mary met the angel, and then the whole story of the nativity laid out in separate scenes, which was really interesting and beautifully done. And then afterwards I went to, the Palais Rohan. I think that's how you pronounce it, I'm not sure. It's spelled Rohan, but I don't know how you say it. And it was a different type of museum because it was more extravagant. It was more about the upper class, the people who used to live in Strasbourg. Obviously it's a palace, so the royal family were there, and also the Bishop of Strasbourg. Well, I don't know if it's of Strasbourg, but the Bishop's palace. So the building was a lot fancier and more extravagant. And they also had an art gallery there. The Beaux-Arts had an exhibition there. They had lots of paintings. It was a lovely selection, actually. I really enjoyed it as well. And I've tried lots of food today. The amount of food I have eaten, I feel like I'm about to pop, but I'm not here for long, and there were lots of Alsatian specialities that I wanted to try. So I tried the tarte flambée, which I showed you. It's like a pizza with some cream and lardons, which is like little bacon pieces on it, and it was really nice, actually. It was really good, which I had for lunch. And then for dinner I had choucroute, which is basically like sauerkraut with cabbage, but Alsace style, with loads of different pieces of meat. I feel like the food here is really rich and heavy. I couldn't finish it. I had a little bit to try it, but it was so much. But it was really tasty, and it had very rich fatty meats because it had pieces of pork and sausage and things like that, but it was good. And it was in a really cute restaurant. It was really traditional and beautifully decorated, and I just had a nice time. And just wandering around the streets and enjoying the atmosphere on my last night here. It's kind of sad that I'm leaving tomorrow, but I've had such a good time. I'm so happy I came, even because I had no one to come with, so I just came alone. But you know, my own company doesn't really bother me. I enjoy my own company and exploring things by myself anyway, and I had such a good time, and I really feel the Christmas spirit. And I feel like if I was alone in Paris in my apartment, I wouldn't have felt it as much as if I'm travelling and exploring new places. And the Christmas market here, it would put anyone in a Christmassy mood. It was amazing. So now I'm probably going to watch a Christmas film and just get cosy in my room, make a cup of tea and enjoy yeah, the last night here in this hotel. So I hope you enjoyed day 2 of wandering around the Christmas markets in Strasbourg, and also seeing the different museums which are open all through the year. So whenever you want to come, you'd be able to go there, and you know, maybe it's inspired you to come to Strasbourg for Christmas. But yes, I'm very happy, and I just feel like I've had the best trip here. It's been so good. Okay, so it is day 3 of my trip to Strasbourg, and it's the last day here. I'm going home today. I have a train at 12:47 to go back to Paris. And right now I'm going to go down for breakfast, and then I'm going to walk around town a bit. I have one more museum that I'm planning to visit today, which is the Museum of Historic Strasbourg, which opens at 10, and it's 8:30 now, so I've got a bit of time. So like I said, I'll have breakfast, wander around for the last time, then go to the museum, and then I'll need to go straight to the train station. So it's going to be a busy morning, but that's what the plan is at the moment. It's my last few hours in Strasbourg, and I just finished at the Historic Museum, which I preferred the Alsatian Museum because it was more about everyday life. The History of Strasbourg Museum was more political, but it was still interesting. And now I'm just walking the streets one last time before I get the train, so yeah, it's beautiful, and I'm just enjoying the peaceful morning, and the weather's really nice today, so it's nice to see it in a different light. Train, I literally had to run here. I thought it was going to be late. It was really stressful, but at least I have a pretzel to take away, which I can have as my lunch on the journey. I'm so tired now, literally, because I was running here with my heavy luggage. I have something under my eye, but yeah. So I just got back from Strasbourg. I'm back in my apartment, and I had the best 2 days, because it was one full day and 2 half days, but honestly I had the best time. Strasbourg is such a dreamy place to go to for Christmas. I loved it. The market was incredible, and I just feel so festive now. I can't wait for Christmas, and I hope you enjoyed following me around Strasbourg and joining me as I explored the city, because I feel like it's such a wonderful place to visit, and I hope it inspires you to visit it if you're considering somewhere to go for Christmas. And that you enjoyed the museums and the market and the food. There was a lot of food, I can tell you that now. Yes, so if you liked this video, then please subscribe to my channel to join me on more adventures around, well, not just Paris, but you know, in general around France. And I will see you next time. Bye!